Hi folks, I'm here in Austin, Texas, amid my room service detritus. What's going on out there in the actual serious world? I don't know. I'm not paying attention. I seem to be blogging, but I'm not paying attention. I'm hanging around, eating, room service, going to cafes. There's not really that much to do in Austin. Do you like to shop? I don't care too much about shopping, but is the shopping interesting here? I don't know. Sites of interest? Well, you can see the Texas State Capitol. That was interesting. I liked walking around the yards, photographing the various monuments and so on. There's a big monument to the Confederate soldiers, which says "died for states' rights" on it. I thought that was interesting. I could put a picture of that up. I was particularly interested in the monument to the volunteer firemen. It's just a volunteer fireman at the top of it, because one side of it is devoted to the Texas City disaster, which occurred in, I think it was 1947 or 1948. My parents lived in Texas City when that happened, and were very close to where the great bomb that, this exploding ship in the harbor that killed a lot of people back then. There was a fire, and then people went down to look at the fire, and then the ship exploded because the contents of the ship were actually explosive. So the people that went down to look at the fire, many of them were killed. My parents were in the nearby vicinity, and my father always told a story of how he had gone to get some coffee, and when he came back to his seat, there was a giant shard of glass stuck into the chair. I don't know how exaggerated that was, but he always made it seem as if, he would have been killed by this glass missile, or I don't know, castrated or something like that, which if it had happened, of course, I would have never been born. So I consider myself to have some spiritual relationship to the Texas City disaster, and also to coffee more generally. My father went to get coffee, and as a result of that avoided getting hit by that glass. Maybe it was not such a big thing of glass, but that's the way he told the story. And also my parents met because of coffee. They were both in the Army in World War II, and of course my mother joined the Army. My father was drafted, and my mother smelled coffee and went to check it out, and my father had made coffee. So my father had made coffee, my mother smelled the coffee. You know the expression, wake up and smell the coffee. You might be walking down the hall one day, smell some coffee, go to see where that, what was happening, and meet someone you'll fall in love with. They got married 2 weeks later. Isn't that romantic? So if that hadn't happened, if my mother hadn't smelled the coffee, and gone in search of it, if my father hadn't gone in search of coffee on a separate occasion, I would never have been born. But there are many reasons why any given person is born. All the little details of how all the parts, all the moving parts, the people, the genitalia, the sperms and ova, came to be in the right place at the right time, and you got born. It's a pretty extraordinary thing. So wherever you are, in Madison, Wisconsin, in Austin, Texas, wherever, I hope you're happy to be alive. It's quite an extraordinary thing, whether there's any good shopping, whether there are good places to go, whether you've seen all the monuments. It's quite an amazing accomplishment. I hope you're enjoying it, at least some of the time. So there I was in the Texas State Capitol. I was there to take some pictures. It was evening, long shadows. Actually, the light wasn't that good for pictures. It would have been better a little later. It was kind of harsh. And you have to think about the shadows, or the pictures will be ruined by, the shadows are a big part of the graphic design of the actual pictures, but when you're there in person, you might not be that aware of them. You must make yourself aware of them. Like the smell of coffee that you pursue in life, seeking love, seeking dreams, seeking hope. So I was seeking the Ten Commandments monument, which I knew was on the Texas State House grounds. And it's actually not, there's a beautiful front area to the Capitol grounds where all the nicest monuments are, like the one to the Alamo and to the Confederate soldiers. The cowboy is a very nice one. Oh, there's my phone. Wait a second. Hello? Hey. What's... Okay. Oh, are you driving? Okay, so should I go downstairs? Yeah. Okay. I'll be right down. Okay, I'll see you soon. Okay, bye. So let me just quickly finish. I gotta go. So I finally found the Texas. I wanted to see the monument of the Ten Commandments that was the subject of the Supreme Court case back in 2005. I wanted to see how it was positioned in with all the other monuments as it's described in the case, but it's actually completely by itself. It's not near any other monuments, so there isn't any idea that there's a context of monuments that's giving it, that's making it different from what it would be seen alone. It really does stand alone. Now it's stuck in the back, actually, where the nice monuments are not, and the rear grounds of the Texas Capitol really. Really, it's landscaped perfectly nice and it's clean and everything. But the lesser sculptures, and I think things that were donated are put back there. I think the state is mostly just accommodating various people who want to, express themselves on the state ground. But I actually think it's a pretty disrespectful place where they put the Ten Commandments. It's like by the side of the road. It's not. It doesn't lend itself to meditation, which is something Justice Breyer talked about in his opinion about why it's not religious. But I think that's why it's really not a very good place to put it. Whether that's a constitutional issue or not is another matter. But anyway, I took the photographs. I did a blog post about that. You can see that. But as you know, I gotta go. The phone call came in, and I gotta run down and meet someone. So that's the end of this little vlog. So I hope you appreciate the vlog. As you see, I haven't melted down. I haven't freaked out. I haven't drunk any wine. I have this pot of coffee back here. I have had some coffee this morning. But the edge is wearing thin, and it's time to go off and go to a coffee house, so maybe I'll do another vlog there. See you later.